Prime Minister has dismissed a call for her to make way for Kevin Rudd, saying that she's getting on with governing and will lead Labor to the next election.
Labor backbencher John Murphy went public with his desire for Kevin Rudd to return as PM, saying Mr Rudd could lead the party to an election victory.
After campaigning with Kevin Rudd, John Murphy issued a clarion call to his colleagues, telling the Australian newspaper it's in Labor's best interests for Julia Gillard to stand down for Kevin Rudd, saying Mr Rudd won't just save the furniture, but in fact win the election. Sitting on a margin of just 2.7%, Mr Murphy says the time to change is now, with the electoral clock at 5 to midnight. But it's going to take more than a backbencher to shift the PM.
We've got lots of rumour, lots of speculation. We've got Mr Murphy, who's had a continuing view for some time now, so I don't worry about any of that. I just get on with it. You must be fed up with riding it, don't worry about it.
Should Julia Gillard change her mind, the opposition is ready to flick the switch.
Kevin Rudd, of course, was the Prime Minister who made so many poor judgment decisions. He was the one who changed border protection laws, and we've now seen more than 43,000 people arrive by boat.
But it seems not all of Kevin Rudd's supporters are going public with their beliefs or hopes.
I've said this publicly and privately. I just don't believe necessarily that what's being touted is going to happen. I think the caucus has made its mind up.
The member for Chifley also hosing down reports that the AWU's Paul Howes is softening in his support for the PM, pointing out Mr Howes has once again publicly backed Julia Gillard.
Paul is not saying anything that he didn't say earlier in the year.
Well, I'd refer you to the words of the actual story, but lots of this is headlines-wise much more rumour on speculation.
In March, the leadership issue appeared to finally have been put to bed. With 2 sitting weeks in Parliament left, though, speculation is at fever pitch. One major obstacle remains. Kevin Rudd says he won't challenge. That would mean Julia Gillard would have to fall on her sword, and that appears extremely unlikely.
All this week I've taken questions like this, and all this week I've focused on what I do, which is making sure we're investing for the future and building a stronger future for our country.
No word today from the opposition leader. Attending the funeral of journalist Chris Pearson in Adelaide, Tony Abbott adopting his usual tactic of letting Labor fight amongst itself. Tom Connell, Sky News, Canberra.